Sales Tip Saturday, I got a question that asked, how do you stand out in a very competitive and saturated market, like geographical market? And then how do you start selling or branching into new markets without disrupting the operational flow? And so just a couple of quick thoughts. Every market's competitive. Honestly, I mean, in transportation, in trucking, there are some metros that we might think of as more popular than others, like a Dallas or Chicago versus Billings, Montana. But the reality is there's probably at least several asset carrier options in almost every single market where there is spread. There's always going to be competition of some sort. You're always going to be trying to be better than someone else or win business over someone else. And so how do we stand out? Brand is understated. Do your prospects know who you are, what you do, and do you have a strong brand reputation? That's important. So focusing on brand, that can also mean personal brands of sellers. When you're selling to someone, do they know who you are, what you stand for, what people think about you, what you do in the space? When it comes to actual sales outreach, how you reach out matters to differentiate yourself. Are you calling them and leaving voicemails every day and that's your only approach? Like, are we diversifying our approach? Are we trying phone? Are we trying email? Are we trying some type of marketing? Are we trying LinkedIn? Are we trying a video? Like, what are you doing to try to connect? Are you going in person? The honest truth is nobody wants to be sold to, but people are sold to all the time and they do buy. And so when they are ready to buy, how they prefer to be sold to varies very differently across every unique individual person who's making a buying decision. And so that's why we have to be diversifying our strategies. And then as far as branching into new segments, I tell people, like, let's think of it as stepping stones and say, okay, this is currently what we do. Maybe one day we have this big goal to get somewhere else and it looks quite different than where we're at right now. What is the next right step that puts us one step closer to the new goal, but is the closest step from where we're at today? And so if you're running an asset network and let's say you're really heavy in the Midwest, but you want to start expanding outside of just the Midwest, identify areas of opportunity for you based on driver preference, freight type, your commodities. Like, what are you currently doing that's so heavy in the Midwest and where else might that also be? So maybe you need to expand, into the mid-Atlantic, like the Carolinas or whatever that looks like for a reason that you determine is sensible and logical. And so take the lowest risk next step that's still moving you in the right direction of that future desired state. And then build around that. And then when you feel comfortable, take the next step. And so you're minimizing risk, but at the same time working towards progress. And I think that's all my thoughts on that for the time being.